share a secret today. And it's that everyone in this room, in fact, everyone in the world is connected. Now, not by cell phones, not by blood, not by culture, and not even by geography, but simply by the struggles that we all carry. And one of these struggles, that is rarely ever spoken about, is change. Now, change arrives in any shape or form. It could be a new school, perhaps starting a new job, or moving to university, learning how to cook on your own for the very first time. It happens to everyone. But we rarely speak about how unsettling it can feel. We are often expected to go through it alone and adapt with it. But what if navigating change is much easier than we'd all think? For me, what helped me through every transition and change wasn't certainty or confidence, but it was my passion. My passion became my anchor, and it became the hidden thread that followed me wherever I went. My name is Zeynep Gul, and today I'd like to show you how your passion can become your hidden thread as well. I've lived in 4 countries, and I've had to restart my life in 5 different schools. And as a teenager, you could almost guess how difficult it's been for me. Every time I felt like stepping into a new story, and I wasn't given the script. I even remember walking into school for the very first time. The rhythm was set, the groups were formed. And I stood there thinking, where do I even belong? Fitting in at that time felt like trying to solve a puzzle, and I had no idea what I was trying to create. I wasn't just the new person, but I was the person who had to become somebody, anybody, just to be accepted. And before belonging, I was trying to perform it, and this was exhausting for me. But then something shifted before I found people. I found music. The music room became the first place where I didn't have to translate myself. I could just walk in and be. And before connection came singing. And before actual friendships, I found myself performing on stage in front of my entire school. And this made me realize something really important. Passion isn't just a hobby. It's a connector, it's a compass, and it's an identity that you can carry with you wherever you go. And passion can become your hidden thread too. It can help you find the right people, help you guide you towards the opportunities that you deserve. And this all matters because connection isn't a luxury, it's a human need. We don't just want community, but we are wired for it. And passion is one of the most powerful ways to activate this wiring. It not only makes us feel fulfilled, but it actually changes the way our brain functions. When we engage in something we genuinely have interest for, our brain releases a blend of chemicals, such as dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. Dopamine helps with focus and motivation. Oxytocin helps with trust and social bonding skills. And endorphins help reduce stress. And altogether, these chemicals form the biological foundation of resilience and connection. So passion isn't just emotional. It's a neurological reinforcement that teaches our brain that this is important and we should continue doing this. And this ties perfectly with Dr. Robert Vallerand's study of the dualistic model of passion, where he and his team in 2013 found that passion actually develops in 2 different ways: harmonious and obsessive. Harmonious passion is the kind that we choose freely. It's the kind that fits perfectly with our lives and our identity. It actually activates regions in the brain such as the prefrontal cortex and the ventral striatum, which are both regions that are linked to focus, healthy motivation, and healthy focus. This is the kind of passion that we should go for. And this is the kind of passion that grounds us. And then there is obsessive passion, which feels quite different. Obsessive passion starts to appear when our motivation shifts from something like, I enjoy this, to something more like, I have to do this. When the pressure to succeed or be validated takes over, our brain's reward system gets hijacked. Dopamine gets tied to external approval, and once this approval disappears, our brain starts to interpret passion as punishment. Cortisol rises and the amygdala activates, as something that once brought us so much joy starts to become a source of tension. Psychologists actually explain this through something we call operant learning, which is when a behavior is repeated due to reinforcement. And reinforcement simply means encouraging a behavior so it becomes stronger. And this comes in two separate ways: positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Now, positive reinforcement is when something pleasant is added. This could be pride, joy, or satisfaction. During this process, our brain releases dopamine to allow it to learn that this matters and that we should repeat this behavior. And then negative reinforcement is when something unpleasant is removed, such as anxiety, fear, or stress. During this process, our brain learns this reduces this factor, so I should continue doing it. Harmonious passion is powered by positive reinforcement, and obsessive passion is powered by negative reinforcement. And this is exactly why harmonious passion is so important and powerful. It's sustainable, and it grows through actual interest rather than pressure. And I learned this myself. I found that every time I moved schools or went to a new country, I had the pressure to perform belonging. I always felt like I had to prove myself to somebody. But once I started focusing on that one thing that grounded me and the one thing that I loved for its own sake, I found that my brain started to reward me with calmness, clarity, and confidence. In fact, follow-up studies support this too. Dr. Robert Vallerin found that harmonious passion leads to greater well-being, stronger relationships, and much frequent flow states, which are those times where you're so immersed in what you're doing that time seems to disappear. And brain imaging from the University of Montreal found that harmonious passion activates regions in our brain that are linked to identity, joy, and emotional regulation. And in fact, something even more fascinating happens when we share what we love. A recent study in 2021 found that when two people share their passion with each other, their brain waves actually start to synchronize. And they call this the interpersonal neural alignment. So passion isn't just emotional. It's a biological strategy for adaptation. It's our brain's way of helping us through uncertainty and change. And this is why it matters so much. So how exactly do we turn our passion into our own hidden thread in our life? Well, here are the 3 simple steps that I've come up with throughout my experiences. Step number 1, notice your thread. Start by thinking what makes you feel like you, even on a bad day, or what grounds you. For some people, this could be analyzing, helping, drawing, music, or art. Whatever it is, just notice that thread and stick to it. Step number 2, lean into it. Try to share it instead of hide it. Discuss it with the people around you and find it. For example, when I moved to a new country and I found where my passion naturally aligned, and I stepped there, I started feeling like myself again. And step number 3, notice that shift. Because once you notice it, and there will certainly be a moment where you do, instead of trying to fit in and trying to perform belonging, you'll actually start to experience it. So change will always be a part of our lives, but feeling lost doesn't have to be. And passion not only helps us through change, but it allows us to grow with it. So the next time you find yourself in a transition, instead of asking yourself, where do I fit in? Try asking yourself, what is my thread? And remember, the world is always moving forward, but only with those who are willing to move with it. So find your passion and let it guide you towards your success. Thank you.